I was gonna say the girls drive by and add you.
Yeah. I had my Snapchat on the back, but too many people just text me random stuff. Gotta get that off.
That's dope. So you do the raps?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I rap cars.
Who else has cool cars on the team? Anyone else? Well, you get that through an NIL deal?
I got that for graduation. Oh, cool. But I say Cantor just got a wide body Charger Saturday.
Oh really?
He got one. Justice got a wide body Challenger. Will got the Bronco, the custom Bronco.
Oh, he drives a Bronco?
He got a 20.
He would drive a Bronco.
Yeah, it's real nice. And he got his name. It's like etched into it.
Really? On the inside?
On the outside.
I'm Adam Breneman.
This is
Next up. Wild. Next up. All right, cool. Well, appreciate you guys coming. You just came from practice, right?
Yeah.
How was that today? What'd you guys do?
It was smooth.
Walkthrough?
We had walkthrough days. We had helmets on me. You know, we were going through the most to get everything right.
Yeah,
So-
so down last week's film, trying to get ready to move on to the next opponent.
So what is the? You guys are coming off a loss now for this week. This won't air for a few weeks, but does the whole vibe change like after a loss? You feel like? Do you feel like, coming in on Sunday or Monday is different than coming in after a win?
I feel like it's our job to make sure that it doesn't change.
Yeah.
No matter if you're coming off a win, coming off a loss, you have to have that mentality of coming in and getting better every day. Every week is an opportunity to get better. Again, win, loss, it doesn't matter. We got to be worried about us and worried about our craft.
Yeah. And Stoops, he do a good job at make sure our spirits stay high.
Yeah.
He always preaching to us to, keep the energy up. There's short-term memory. We on to the next.
Yeah. Coach Stoops seems like the man, right?
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. I never heard anyone say a bad thing about Coach Stoops.
I don't think you can not like him. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What's he like? Give me his story or something. Like, what's he like? Like, what's he? I'm trying to, because I never met Coach Stoops, and I'm trying to compare him to a coach I know in my mind, and I can't think of what.
I say he's like a coach that you can eat. He's easy to approach. He's not like some coaches where you look at him as a coach. I look at him like family. So I can just walk up to him and just talk to him about anything, and I feel comfortable around him. I don't feel like when I'm around him, it's just me and the coach. I feel like me and my family, so I can just be comfortable around him.
He ever get after you guys?
Yeah. When it's time, he gonna make sure it happens. Yeah.
But I feel like he does I feel like he does a good job of balancing that. Yeah. He's been doing this a while now, so I feel like he has a good balance of knowing when he needs to get on guys and when guys just need a little love, stuff like that. But Coach Stoops is just one of those guys that, like he was saying, that you can just talk to. He's definitely a player-friendly coach, and he wants our team to be a player-led team. Mm-hmm. So the word comes down from coach, it goes down to the assistant coaches, but then it goes to us to make sure it's the players' jobs, the captains, the players around the team, just to make sure that everybody is holding each other accountable and everybody is setting the standard.
Who's he get after most out of you three? Who's he yell at the most?
They don't yell at me.
It's got to be me. It's got to be him. It's got to be me. Yeah.
It's because you're the left tackle, right?
Yeah,
he's one of the captains
this year.
Yeah. And they moved you, right, from guard. You were a guard, moved you to tackle. Yeah, that can't be an easy transition. What was that? Was it hard?
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like our coaches do a good job of teaching, and the biggest thing I learned from this offensive scheme is that no matter if you're playing center, guard, or tackle, your footwork is for the most part the same. Your combo blocks are the same. The way you work techniques are really the same. It's just those small nicks that you have to work at tackle, of course, like the tackle 2-point, stuff like that, being able to work with those speed rushers, stuff like that. But I feel like the coaches have helped me a lot adjusting to be able to make sure I can keep this thing rolling for us.
Love it. Where'd the fascination with cars come from? how did it all start?
I say it started just being younger, just being around my dad and him with his cars. He every Saturday he would always have me wash all the cars outside, And just after that, like I just liked it being around cars. And then in high school, my brother started working at Mercedes, and he got his Mustang. He got a Mustang, and when I was in 11th grade, and he just started like breaking it down and just modding it himself. And I was like kind of his handyman. So whenever he needed help, I would just come down there and just help him out. And just like being around that, I learned how to do a lot of stuff around cars. And then when I got my because I had a Camaro at first. I had a V6 Camaro in 10th grade, and then
10th grade whipping a Camaro.
Yeah, I had a 2018 Camaro, and then like just driving around seeing other cars, and then being at like car meets. I just liked it being around cars, and then for graduation, like they got me that Scat Pack, and then I was around people that rap cars, and just watching them do it, I was like, well, it's not that hard. So then I kind of picked up on it, and I put that purple one on there that's on there now. I kind of did that mostly myself, but just being around cars all my life, it just, I don't know, I just like being around them.
What's your dream car? Like, you make it to the league and you just signed that deal. What are you getting?
AMG 63S coupe. Gotta get one.
What's that cost? Like a few $100,000?
It's like 125K.
Light. That's nothing.
Not compared to the other cars that people get in the NFL.
Yeah, it's crazy. You ever let them drive your car?
I let one of my teammates drive home. I let two of them drive because it was Kavase Smoke and Khalil, because they both live in Alabama, and I was tired, so I just went to sleep and let them drive. But Khalil,
Smoke drive your car?
yeah, I let Smoke.
Is that risky?
Yeah, but the funny part is when Khalil was driving home one day, because like my car got all that power, it was raining real hard. So I asked him, I was like, do you want me to drive or you got it? He was like, I got it. So it picked up hard on the rain, and like with my car, if you touch the gas while it's raining, it's gonna like fishtail and slide. So he's going like,
that's scary, bro.
He's going like 20 miles per hour. Like he's going really slow, and he touches the gas, and my car goes like completely sideways, and he just stops in the middle of the road and just we got out the car and switched in the middle of the road because he was so scared to drive. It was so funny.
I love it. That's great. That's great. And then your hidden talent is the backflips, right? We just talked about it. When did you learn you could do backflips? Because I saw it. It's in your bio on the Kentucky website. It says like can do backflips.
Right. I couldn't think of nothing else.
Nothing else?
Nah, I couldn't think of. I mean, I can draw too, but I was like, backflips cool. Yeah, I can draw.
Oh, really? So you're like an artist?
Yeah.
Like, what do you draw?
I don't be drawing no more for real, but like I got this clothing brand, and like we be drawing different designs and stuff. I be drawing on there for right now. But
you can plug the brand. Go ahead. Just tell
the official trend. Go shop with that. You know, we dropping some heat soon. But the backflip thing. So I was young. My dad, he used to always talk about how acrobatic he was and stuff. So we used to do backflips and stuff in the backyard. But I could never really do it. So that's my dad's side of the family. My mom's side, my uncle was like crazy athletic. Like he played wide receiver and went to UC and stuff. So he could do backflips too. So he taught me how to do a backflip on the hill first. So on the hill, it was cool because, you know, like it's a hill. So you going down on the hill, you can do a backflip easy. So I tried it on the same hill at nighttime and like almost broke my nose because I faced I did a backflip and I just landed straight on my face. So I went in, you know, reflected on myself, came back the next day, started busting them out, and then I actually did it on flatland and I could do it. So I was cool after that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You guys do backflips or no? I know you. I don't even gotta ask you.
I feel like I can do one
on the ground.
Shake if you.
I can do one off a diving board and like standing on the side of a pool, like just off the ground into the pool, but I just don't trust myself to do it like and land on the ground. But I can do it off a backboard.
Kenneth, I know you got a crazy life story and how you got to Kentucky. I'd love to just hear your 2-minute, 3-minute story of how you got to this place now.
Yeah, so my senior year of high school, you know, I was already signed to Kentucky. I signed early. That was my first year, or my senior year was the first year that they allowed early signing in December. So I signed in December, but I still had classes to finish out and stuff, so I didn't go up yet. I was still here. And April 1st of 2018, I started feeling random pain in my side, you know, and it just one of those things that just continued to gradually grow until a point where like my dad is like holds me down with water, trying to keep me cool. I got a real bad fever. So my parents called 911, obviously. They got me to the hospital. They did a scan of my body, and they found that there was a growth on my heart valve that they couldn't identify yet, and they didn't exactly know what it was, but they knew it needed to go. So about 5 days later, I ended up having to have open heart surgery. They opened up my chest, they cracked open my sternum, and they cleaned the valve off. It wasn't replaced or anything like that, but they cleaned it off, sewed me back up, and they put a titanium plate on my chest so that I could play. The recovery was definitely one of the hardest things I've been through. Being able just going from being a multi-sport athlete like I was doing shot and disc at the time with the track and field team, to not being able to help your mom with groceries and simple tasks like that. Like I wasn't allowed to lift anything over 5 pounds for like the first month. This was just one of those things that really like mentally just weighed on me, but just with God being good, I was able to do all the recovery I needed, and I was able to be back on the field up here in pads in August for camp.
Jeez.
It's just one of those moments that you really.
So you were in pads in August, and you had the surgery when?
In April. Yes, sir. So it's just one of those things that's like just reminds you of how good God is, and not to take anything for granted, not to take any play, any snap for granted. Because I remember when I first woke up from the surgery, I got to moving around and stuff, but I couldn't really walk yet, so I had to use a walker. And I'm really just asked me to go 50 feet and back or something like that. Of course, I'm moving slowly, like I'm like 60 years older than I actually am. It's just one of those moments that made me just tell myself, like, if I ever got the opportunity to get back on the field, I was going to give it everything I got. And through the grace of God, I'm back here.
Man, that's crazy, man. It's an inspirational story. I had heard about your story before meeting you, obviously, and it's nuts. It's just crazy. Like, your life just changes like that, right? And I'm sure it impacts like everything you do now the rest of your life. Like, you lose a game, something happens bad, you're like, man, I had open heart surgery. Like, I can get through anything.
Yes, sir.
It's like similar happened to me.
What's that?
I said I had something similar happen to me. My 10th grade year. Not a lot of people know this, but my 10th grade year, it was my first year playing wide receiver, and we was playing at a rival school, Ramsey. And my quarterback threw me a ball, and it was 3 people guarding me. So I jumped up, like me being a competitor. I'm like, I got to get it. So I jumped up, and one dude hit my legs this way, so my body flipped in the air. And another dude was running, trying to pick the ball up. So he was running, looking back, and his face mask hit my side. So I come to the sideline. Like, I couldn't even get up. So they helped me up to the sideline. So I'm thinking I just got broken ribs. So after that, I went home. I wake up in the morning, 2 a.m., and I'm coughing, and I see blood. So I'm like, what's going on? I'm coughing up blood. And then I went to the restroom. Goes to the restroom, dark red. So I'm looking at the toilet and coughing. I'm like, am I dying? I'm like, what's going on? So I tell my mom, she called police. They run me to the hospital. I get there. I tell them what happened, and they was like, they never heard of anything like that. And then, so they did x-rays and stuff. And then when they did the x-rays, they looked and they said my kidney was split into 2. And they told me that I probably never be able to play sports again, and that I most likely would have to have surgery, and I wouldn't be able to play sports again. So I'm sitting in the hospital just crying. Like, I'm in the 10th grade. I'm like, I just started, and I had just got my first offer from Kentucky in 10th grade from Coach Summerall, like some weeks before that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, my whole career going to waste. And then I'm just sitting there crying. Then the next day he come in, the doctor comes in and tells me that they re-looked at the x-rays. He said that I'm not going to have surgery. But, I mean, I'm not going to have surgery. It'll heal on its own, but I won't be able to exercise, do nothing like extracurricular for 16 months. And it would just heal on its own. He said I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't lift nothing heavy. Like, I just couldn't do nothing. Like, he said he didn't even want me to jog because he didn't want my body, like, moving up and down where my kidney was moving. So I literally had to just walk real slow around for 16 months, couldn't do nothing. Like, he said he didn't even want me pressing my brakes hard in my car because he said since I wasn't having surgery, it would have to heal up on its own. And now when they looked at, because when I first got here, I told them about it. And they said now when they look at x-rays of my kidney, you can't even tell there's a scar on there.
God is good. So
That's so nuts. So that was in the middle of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't play your sophomore year, or
I didn't play my sophomore year. Came back in the middle of my junior year.
after 16 months. Yeah.
And I came back my middle of my junior year. I had like 4 offers, and I went from 4 to like 38 my junior year off my one season, because a lot of coaches didn't want to offer me because they knew about my injury. Because of course, when they come to the school, my coach would tell them like, because they want to look at your medical report and stuff. So they knew, and it was like, well, if we take the chance to offer him, like, what happens if you take a SEC hit or a college hit? Like, will it reopen? And that's why a lot of schools didn't offer me, but some took chances on me, and Kentucky was one of them.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure when coaches like would hear about your kidney, they were like, "We ain't touching him."
Yeah, that's why I didn't get a lot of the main ones. Like, a lot of schools that offer me, they came in to look at me and like offer me, but they didn't offer me then because of my injury. And then they came back my senior year and they offered me because they seen like I was able to take hits, and they didn't know if I would come back and play the same.
Jeez. That's crazy. JuTahn, you got any stories, man?
I was gonna say, y'all both got some inspirational stories, but I don't got none.
You gotta give us something, man. Come on, this is like inspirational hour, man.
Backflip is inspirational.
Yeah, that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all both some OGs took it. Real inspirations.
Yeah, don't nobody know about it for real, but my family.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I appreciate you telling that story. I appreciate you opening up about that. You were already signed, right? You were signed when yours happened, right? So you didn't have to deal with the recruiting. Like, you were already signed to Kentucky.
No, my only fear was that it was going to get pulled due to the injury.
Yeah.
But as soon as I called Kentucky, because obviously we had to let them know immediately. We didn't want to try to hide it from them or anything like that. We called them, and the first thing they said after that they were praying for my health is that don't worry about scholarship or anything like that. Like, you're good. We're going to take care of you, stuff like that. But they were in a position like they didn't even know if I was ever going to be able to play for real.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just blessing that they continued to take that chance on me and let me prove myself.
And now you're the starting left tackle in the SEC, huh?
It was the same with me.
You just had your first touchdown this year, right?
Mm-hmm. That was the same reason why I came too, because I had a few offers my junior year, but Coach Summerall, he offered me when I was I didn't even start at the time. So he came there to see, because we had a 4-star linebacker that he came to see, which he was a linebacker coach. And he seen me in practice, and he seen how I was moving around practice. And he said he wanted to offer me that day. And then I had the little injury or whatever. So I'm like, dang, are they gonna stop recruiting me? And Coach Summerall and Kentucky, they were still hitting me up, and they were they really didn't even talk about pulling my scholarship. Other coaches and colleges, they were scared seeing would I ever be able to play again, but they were just still recruiting me, telling me that they were always be there for me, and I still had my place here. So when it was time to put the pen to the paper, I looked at all of those things, and I was like, Kentucky never shied away or backed away from me. So I'm like, if they got this much trust and they look at me as family, then I got to do it.
Yeah, that's sweet. JuTahn, what was your recruiting process like?
My freshman year, I met Miro when I was a freshman, and I went to Wynn Woods with Chris Oates. So my season got ended short when I broke my collarbone, and some other stuff had happened. So I transferred to another school, and before the season even started, Coach Miro, he came to watch us lift weights. I don't even think we had equipment yet. So
Coach Vince, right?
Yeah, Vince Miro, yeah.
We met him today. We met him in his office today.
Cool dude. So he watching this weightlifting stuff. So he walked out. He didn't say nothing to me. He just pat me on the back keep working hard. So I'm like, all right, cool. So my head coach pulled me to the side. Hey, he just offered you. I'm like, what? I ain't even played yet. How you offer me? So I'm like, okay, that's crazy, but it's a blessing. I ain't gonna turn down no blessing. So from there, I think my next one was UC and then Rutgers or something. But they just stayed in touch. It was never no fake energy. Anytime I felt like that was home for real. I already went to the school. I'm from Cincinnati. I'm only 2 hours up north. Mm-hmm. So I was down here every other weekend almost, and the connection just kept getting stronger and stronger over the years and stuff. So I'm like, man, this is where I'm going. I told my mom like a few months before I even committed. I'm like, I'm going to UK. She's like, are you sure? Like, you need to weigh out. I was like, Ma, I'm going to UK. So, so my official visit came. We went to Jeff Ruby's. So yeah.
Oh, you eating good? You're
eating real good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm finna commit. So I'm like,
at least y'all got officials. I ain't getting nothing.
For real?
Oh, yours was COVID year?
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, that's brutal.
That was another hard decision. Like, we didn't get to take no officials, no visits, nothing. Like, we couldn't even come up here. They didn't even have recruits on campus. They didn't even have fans on campus.
Right. So, nah, that's crazy.
It was hard. Everything was virtual visits. And we like, bro, how?
On Zoom?
Yes, virtual visits.
Yeah, I was coaching then, and we did virtual visits.
And I'm like, bro, how are we supposed to make a decision? All these visits look good. Like, bro, like
everyone's
that's
got
their
a
job.
video.
That's their job to make videos. So, of course, all the visits gonna look like, I'm like, bro, how are we supposed to make a decision off of this when every video we look at, like, you know what I'm saying? That's their job. They do that 24/7. Like, oh, how?
Pick the best video, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all specialists pick the best video, bro. Like, we got to see this for ourselves. It was...
Nah, that's wild.
Exactly. Yeah, we ain't get nothing.
So what'd you get at Jeff Ruby's?
Man, I don't even know, but I got a steak, obviously. I forgot what else I got, but the steak was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna remember that steak for the rest of my life. Like, it was the best steak I ever had. But ate the steak up or whatever. It was a big steak too. I couldn't even finish it. I told my mom, like, I'm gonna do it right now. She's like, okay, start recording. I stood up in front of everybody. There's a whole bunch of people in there, other kids on their visits and stuff too. I'm like, from this day forward, I'm a Wildcat, and everybody started going crazy. Meryl gave me a hug and all that.
Oh, that's sweet. Who were you down? But it was between Kentucky and who else?
Kentucky, Penn State, Michigan, O State, and Purdue. So one SEC versus all Penn.
That was a humble brag there. He just listed all his big offers.
Oh yeah, humbly though. Yeah,
just flexing a little bit. That's sweet. Who recruited you at Penn State? Was it Coach
JuTahn?
JuTahn?
Yeah, Cedar.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah,
it's crazy. I got the same birthday as Coach Franklin.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's what
Coach Franklin's a man. He recruited you guys at all? Penn State.
He recruited me.
Really?
Yeah.
Who were you down to? Who was your final schools?
It was here. I really didn't drop no top 5, top 10. I just committed out of nowhere. Everybody was shocked. But I had, in my own head, it was here, Notre Dame, West Virginia, Texas A&M, and Tennessee. I didn't want to go to, I ain't say that.
Bro, come on.
I didn't want to go to Alabama because, like, my whole family is Alabama fans.
Yeah, because you're from Mobile, right?
I'm from Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham, sorry. Yeah. Same thing, right?
It's nothing against Alabama. Like, I grew up an Alabama fan. Like, everybody in my family was Alabama fan. So it was like, everybody thought I was going there. And I was just like, I want to write my own story. So I was like, I got to get out the state. And I just want to write my own story. So.
Bro, that scared me. Your phone's flashing over there.
Like, Nick Saban came to watch me hoop and all. But I was like, I can do it.
That's crazy. Having Nick Saban at your basketball game is probably pretty cool.
I went for 40 that game, too.
40?
Yes.
Nick Saban just sitting in the stands at the
He
hometown basketball game.
He stayed probably like, I ain't gonna lie, he came there because he came before the game. We talked and whatever, and he didn't offer me that day because he was like, Coach, I'm like, I like everything about his game, but how fast is he? Like, I want to see him run. And what was crazy was I was supposed to come up to a visit to just run the 40 and I was gonna be done. 2 months later, COVID. No camps, no nothing. I'm like, bro. And it was just all bad from there.
COVID was terrible.
You know what I'm saying?
That was bad.
It's terrible.
What was your recruiting process like?
My recruiting, I wasn't as highly recruited as them two. But let me just start there. But
You were low key, huh?
I came out of it was actually an interesting process, the entire thing of itself, because I was my first year playing tackle football was 7th grade. So I played like Pop Warner or whatever. And then the next year I didn't play in 8th grade because in the league there was a weight limit or whatever. And my big behind
You're too big.
was too big for it.
Yeah.
So the league that didn't have a weight limit, they were over full or whatever. So I sat out 8th grade year or whatever and just hopped on in freshman year. And freshman year, between freshman and sophomore year, it was just a wild ride of just me learning not just the physical aspect of football and what it takes to be a player, because of course being a player that was my size, of course people kept saying I had potential to go like D1 and stuff like that, and we started having guys that were starting to get recruited more heavily. So my name started being about that kind of conversation, you know. But I never wanted my name to be in association with other people. I always wanted to be myself and to find my own legacy, you know. So, but there was definitely some ups and downs when I started, because after my sophomore year of high school, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to play football anymore. You know, I was like, I didn't quite have that confidence in myself, you know, that I could actually be who people were saying that I could, you know. But we had a coaching change, and that new head coach, he came and Coach Stark, love him to death to this day. You know, he came in, he talked to me, he's like, I want you to just try it out or whatever, but I'm not forcing you. This has to be your decision, but just know it's gonna take a lot of work. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do it, you know. In that spring, because we'd have spring football down in Florida, so we was doing spring ball or whatever, and there was a scout from UTSA out there, Texas San Antonio. So one of our defensive ends, he ended up with like 35, 40 off or something like that, something crazy, highly recruited guy, DeMarco Artis, and he watched our one-on-one reps, and I actually won the rep, whatever. So after practice, he came and like talked to me. He was like, "Hey, keep doing your thing. We'll be watching." And my coach, I don't know what exactly he said, but he walks away, talks to my O-line coach, and as soon as he comes back, he's like, "Hey, we're gonna offer you full scholarship." So I'm sitting there like in shock. Like I was about to not play. About 4 or 5 months ago, next I'm getting my first full ride offer in D1. I remember I told my parents, they was in shock too.
They probably didn't believe you, right?
Yeah, it was like one of those things. It was like, "You absolutely sure they gave you?" I was like, "Yes, I'll tell you they gave you one." But after that, like, it just opened my eyes to what I could really do and the level that I could play at if I kept working hard, you know. And I felt like I wasn't even at that time, I wasn't giving it everything, because I didn't know what giving everything really was, you know. So I just continued to push myself, you know, took the coaching and just did what I just kept working hard, became leader on the team. I ended up with about like 18 or so offers, but like my top schools was UK, USF, UCF, Mississippi State, stuff like that. But UK didn't offer me until late November. And that was, like I said, that was the first year of the early signing period. You know, so like when I first heard of Kentucky, I was kind of like Kentucky. I was like,
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody from where I'm from is dying to go to Kentucky, you know. But like the more research I did about it, and it was Coach Henshaw, our quarterback's coach at the time. He was the Central Florida recruiter, and the more I was able to talk to him, I met Coach Lorman, rest in peace. The more I was able to talk to him, I just realized how much of a family was up here. And I also realized it gave me an opportunity to get out of Florida and see something and experience something different. You know, my aunt Joanne, she has 3 student athlete children. So my cousins, all on the Jenkins, they're all student athletes. One of the rules she had for them was a 3-state rule. So wherever you went to college to play your sport, whatever, you had to be 3 states away to gain that like sense of like independence and find out who you really were. And while my mom didn't make me stick by that rule, it's kind of something that stuck with me. You know, I was like, if I want the best opportunity for myself to grow and just to really find out who I really am, you know, and make a mark for myself, I feel like going to a place where nobody expected me to go to do something nobody expected me to do. It's the perfect time to do it, and I made the right choice.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's working out for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Who's got the craziest story in recruiting? Like, what's the craziest thing someone did to try to get one of you? You know, you saw like there's ones like Jim Harbaugh like had a sleepover at a guy's house. Like,
What?
I ain't never heard that.
You had a sleepover at somebody else?
yeah, that's at least what they say.
Some schools offer me in both sports to try to get me there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Like I had a couple basketball offers, but I just knew like in the back of my head, like I was good in basketball, but I knew I couldn't play the one in college, so I was like, why are y'all offering me? But like I got a call because my first basketball offer, I'm in the gym hooping, and then my head coach called me. He was like, "Hey, UAB, they offer you for a two-way scholarship." Like, huh? They haven't even came and seen me. He was like, "I know. They just called and I sent them because I never made a basketball highlight in my life. So I'm like, first, how they know how I hoop, and then he just told me like they were offering me for both sports, and I'm like, how was that even possible? But I just knew I wasn't going there. I couldn't go there because it was like 15 minutes away from
basketball.
It was 15 minutes away from my house. I was like, I can't go there. Too much trouble.
What's it like playing for Woody?
I say it's different because like last year with Coach Bo Knight, he was kind of like uptight and was like always on us, and like it was like a coach vibe. Like he would joke with us like off the field, like on the field, like you knew like he was like one of those like you don't even move wrong on the field. Like, he wasn't going for nothing. Like meeting room, like just around the building, like around him, he was like he was a real cool coach. Like I love Coach Bo Knight, and he was just like, but he just had the demeanor around him, like don't do it. But like Woody, he like kind of laid back. Like he'll get on us, but like he'll like more let us do like what we need to do. Like long as we're getting what we need to get done. Like he's not kind of like a coach that like just like overusing his power. Like it's just like he does just enough and make sure we ready, like know our assignment and know our technique. But he's not one of those coaches just like always barking at us and like just like make sure that we know he's the alpha dog in the room. Like he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he's the man. I love Woody.
I love playing for him though.
Yeah, no doubt. What's your best Mark Stoops story? And we got a good one. Like what's something funny he does or anything?
Stoops really don't be doing. He just be chilling for real. Like
Stoops one of those like he's one of those people that's funny when he's not trying to be funny. Yeah. Like just
the funniest thing I seen him do was the other day. It was like last week. I seen a bee messing with him, and he couldn't swat it. And he took his hat off. He was trying to swing it. That was the funniest thing ever. Like him trying to hit that bee. It was so funny because he was getting so mad that he couldn't hit the bee, and it just kept flying like real close to him. That was the funniest thing I've seen out of him.
I think the funniest thing I've seen out of Coach Stoops was him dancing the first year we won the Citrus Bowl. Back in 2018, him in that locker room, man. Just a complete lack of rhythm and flow. Bro, that's it's funny when he be dancing.
You cannot dance, bro.
That was terrible. That's all he do.
And it's starting to get quiet. Nobody hyping him up. It's getting quiet. I'm like, bro, just please.
Also when he broke the away locker room roof. After that, I can't remember which game it was. It was one of away games for like freshman or sophomore year. Everybody got so hyped they picked Coach Stoops up.
I seen that when he was crowd surfing.
Yeah, so he's over here punching. He's over here punching the air and stuff, and he punches like he cracks the ceiling, like like the square or whatever. Like he literally punched a hole through the ceiling. That was one of the funniest moments.
I feel like we can talk about this now because Coach Stoops, he done slimmed down. But he used to waddle like a penguin so bad. Like, that used to be the funniest thing to me. I used to love looking at Coach Stoops walk, bro. He used to just be, I'm like, bro. Like, what the
Yeah, this summer, like he was outside every day and running around the stadium running hills.
He has slimmed down. He looks
he
good.
slimmed down a lot. Shout out to
taking
him.
his laps now. So.
Yeah, he don't play. I be saying that here. He be in the cafeteria. He be looking at the food like, I can't do it. And you'll just see him over there at the salad bar just piling up on salad. I'm like, Coach Stoops, you know you can get some of this. No, I can't.
And every time you see Coach, he's stirring that coffee cup.
Oh yeah,
Every
he love
time
that
you're
coffee.
walking around, stirring the coffee cup.
He's a big coffee drinker.
Big coffee.
Every coach is.
Big coffee.
Every coach is a little crazy. Like deep down, you know, they're all a little nuts. What's it like playing with Will? What's the Levis like?
That's different.
Yeah.
That's something I ain't never even
Yeah.
experienced. He like a different leader, a different quarterback. Like, he really the general of the offense. Like, I ain't never played aside a quarterback that's like know everything and is so fundamentally sound, locked in on everything on the field. It's crazy for real.
The way he attacks his preparation is something that is definitely a different level than I've seen from any quarterback that I've played with before. Like, not saying that those guys didn't prepare, but Will, he's on a different level. Like, when it comes to just his focus, his preparation, like, Will's that kind of guy. Like, when Will gets locked in on something, you better make sure that everything's tip top, because Will's one of the guys. He's a perfectionist. He really is, in that mentality. I feel like
And if
I
it's
feel
not
like
high,
it carries
you want
on through the team. You know, I feel like it trickles down.
It's contagious.
Because, exactly, because like, we all know Will gonna be on his P's and Q's. So we gotta make sure everybody else is doing their part.
Yeah. You trying to match that at all times.
Yeah.
Like, that's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
That's an NFL quarterback.
You think he's gonna be QB1? First quarterback pick?
he need to be.
Yeah.
That boy need to be. He makes the most crazy stuff just look routine.
Yeah.
Like, last week in the O-line room, we literally did the math on how much, I don't know, one of his throws, like, it was, he hit like Barry on a throw, like, cross the hashes, stuff like that. Like, it was like straight line. It was like 55 yard plus, something like that. But we factored in. We over here doing Pythagorean theorem because we factored in the fact that he was at the end, that he was on one hash, throwing at 55 to the other hash on the money. So we over here like, how far did he actually? I didn't do the math, but the smart guy, the real smart guy like Q and the other, they broke it down. Like, it was like 61 yards, like with no hip, no nothing, just straight, like, just practicing his form, getting the ball to it. I'm just looking at it, but like, what are you on? Like, what are you doing? Like, how do you make it just look so easy? He makes everything look so easy, but he works so hard at it. He just makes it look easy.
I knew he was different when he threw that 50-yarder on his knees and hit the goalpost.
Oh, that was tough.
I said, bro, like, be for real, cuz, like, we in a simulation or something. And somebody boosted all of his attributes or something.
He broke my pinky.
Oh, that thing's crooked, man.
Yeah, I know. I can't even straighten it out.
No, I believe it because I can, like, I'm past blocking. I can literally hear.
You can hear
the
it
ball.
whistling.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm throwing, I can, like, if he's throwing it, in, I can hear it. Like,
You would think it was a jug machine or something.
I feel like it's funny because Will, because of like some of his like mayonnaise in the coffee, like things like that, he's gotten a reputation of like kind of being like a jokester and stuff. But like, I know Will, and I know that like he is like the most dialed in. He's like the most opposite of that. And like, cause he has social media, he posts on TikTok. People kind of view him as like more, as like that personality, and he's so different than how he is on the field.
yeah, I feel like he uses social media to get that, like,
He's a businessman.
part out of it and stuff. But like,
He making bread too.
he's really not like a huge like goofball guy when he's like in the locker room and stuff like that. Like, obviously you can joke around and stuff with Will. He's not like that uptight or anything like that. But like, when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And then if we know anything for certain, it's that Will's gonna be locked in.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
Best 3 places to eat in Lexington.
Jeff
You go
Ruby's-
first.
Jeff Ruby's for sure. Then I'm gonna throw in a little dessert one. You ever been to Parlor's Donuts? over there by the Kroger on Euclid.
I ain't know.
You go there every day after practice?
I can't. No, I cannot do that. I'm only back and count on one hand. But like, I'm like a basic donut guy.
Mm-hmm.
But like they got like everything. I had like a French toast donut one time.
I heard it.
Like they're like this big too, and they fluffy. Like this was the truth. Like on some real like fat man stuff. Like it was the truth. And the third one, I'm gonna have to throw in Malone's for sure. Malone's, we go there on Sunday with Will.
Yeah, Will takes you guys there, right? I've heard of that place. Yeah.
Man, those steaks are the truth.
Shoot. Top 3. I'm gonna go with Jeff Ruby's, Joseanne's Homestyle Kitchen. Y'all know what that is?
No, I haven't been there.
Y'all writing these down over there?
Joseanne's Homestyle Kitchen is soul food.
Man, them yams.
The what?
The yams.
Man, it's so
Mac and
crazy.
cheese.
Honorable mention to Richie's. Richie's Chickens. Have you ever been to Richie's?
The Richie's, yeah, Richie's.
Yeah, Richie's
yeah.
gonna do it.
We ordered raising canes tonight.
Yeah, can you say?
I don't think we didn't think it was like that good, right?
Nah.
We ain't have canes back home, so like when I first got up here, I was abusing canes. We ain't had one of those back.
Where I'm from, it's Zaxby's. Like everybody eating Zaxby's.
Yeah, we got Zaxby's.
We got canes. I feel like it's just the sauce though. The sauce carries.
Sauce what makes it, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
fries so skinny, bro.
Yeah,
Bro, what
the
is
chicken
this?
tenders don't be.
They give you so many on the makeup for how small they are.
But my last one, dang, I just had it. What's that chicken spot?
Tossing.
Nah, them two. Nah, I'm gonna
That's
put them.
what I was- that's what I was
tossing the
about to
sauce.
say.
Yeah, tossing the sauce. They a new spot, brand new spot.
Really?
Yeah, it's real good.
I gotta try that.
I would say
Tossing
my
the
top
sauce.
3. I say Jeff Ruby's first, Indies, and then tossing the
Yeah,
sauce.
Indies is what I was thinking of, but tossing the
Indies
sauce.
the truth too.
Yeah,
I
So
said that was my
Indies
3.
and Richie's, them potato wedges.
Yeah, I said that was my 3.
What?
they pink lemonade crazy.
Really? I love a good pig lemonade.
I still got mine though.
Yeah,
I got the gallon jug from Richie.
I get the gallon every time.
bro.
That joint be busting.
for real.
Every time. I don't know.
Like that's one of the places where you gotta get your food and you just drive around the look, cause like the place like real small. So you get your food, you drive around, you just gotta put it in park. You gotta eat about 5 wings for the pull up. You got to mandatory. You gotta open the box. Cause I sit there, cars be hugging at me like, hold up, bro. I gotta get me at least 3 in. Slap that thing and drive.
Cause if you sitting there smelling it,
Yeah, I'm saying, you smell it so good.
You might as well just crack.
And you can't get a cup of the lemonade because it's gonna be gone for you leave. So you gotta get the gallon.
Gotta
You got
get
to.
Always.
Gallon of pig lemonade?
You don't get the regular. I get a
You
whole
got a
gallon.
gallon.
Get
You
the
got
gallon.
to, bro.
Get the gallon.
And see me, I'm bad. I know I'm bad. I get a cup and a gallon because I gotta drink the cup, gallon for the house.
I don't know about all that.
You drink the cup on the way home and then you got the
The
gallon.
gallon when I get there, because I know I'm bad with it. Bro.
Man, I'll crack open the gallon on the way home if I need to, bro.
That thing too good.
Man, y'all gotta try that for y'all leave. Y'all
What's it called again? What's the
Indies.
Andy's?
Indies, y'all.
We going there tonight, tomorrow morning?
You gotta try it. Chicken, man.
You know I'll crush a gallon of that lemonade too.
For real. You might
See it.
I need to. What I forget what else I was gonna ask after that. I wanted to ask you, who's the best athlete on the team? Each of you give me someone. Best athlete. Like maybe not like to answer however you want. Who's the best athlete on the team? And you know they're all gonna see this too, so people are gonna be mad.
Yeah, we got some
Talking about like
freaks.
that can play multiple sports or just like athlete wise.
Best athlete
I
on the
give
team.
it to
I'm saying
him,
me.
son.
You just said you?
Yeah, him or son, I think. I don't know nobody else that can hoop.
I'm gonna say honestly, I'm gonna say me, Rasan, and I say Kobe, because Kobe can hoop too.
I say
Man,
son.
I'm gonna put in the answer for the big boys. I'm gonna go Jagger Burton.
Oh yeah, Jagger too. Jagger.
That boy.
He's a freak?
That boy Jagger.
He's one of us in the lineman body.
not for real though. Like he's like
athletic as
305
hell.
and can push like 21 miles an hour.
Really?
The dude's the truth. Like he's one of those kids that wasn't always like playing O line. Like we was just talking about the other day. Like he went
Tight end
like,
or something.
running back. He played like running back. He played receiver. He played knee line. Like he's been all over. That dude. Dude was a freak of nature athletically, bro.
Dang. But son, I say son because he like my height. I'm like 5'9", 5'10".
Again, East Bay.
Bruh, he showed me this video of him doing a through the leg dunk. I said, like, cuz you got bounce out the yes.
Yeah, he can
through the leg, like booming it. I said, bro, what? Like, be for real, this not you.
No, that's tough.
After surgery, after like 3 knee surgeries.
That's tough.
That's crazy.
Facts.
3 knee surgeries?
He had 3 knee surgeries.
After one, I couldn't jump anymore.
He done had some ankle surgeries, and he still like can float. Like like when he jump, it just look like he pauses in the air. Like when you see him hoop, because I done hooped with him plenty of times. So like like some hoopers, it just like they jump and put the ball in the goal. It's like him and jump. You just like
it's
just watching
another person, Drew Phillips.
Oh yeah, Drew.
He got bounced. That like we be doing box jumps. Everybody get on there in the full squad. We on top of the full squad. Drew will probably jump over the box if the coach told him to. Like he jumped so high, it'd be crazy
That's how
for
I
real.
done that jump
That's
too.
sweet.
For real.
What are you guys gonna do when you're done playing football? Do you know yet?
I want to be a coach.
Oh really?
Yes, sir.
That's sweet. Why?
Coach, I'm working on
What's that? Yeah, like why did you decide to be a coach?
Well, like I understand I wouldn't be nowhere near the position I'm in if God didn't put the coaches that I've had in my life. You know, I've always like one thing for certain. I've always had a strong male figure to look to. Whether it was my dad, my coaches, anything like that. I've always had somebody pushing me to be better than who I already was because they saw something in me that I didn't. And if I'm able to pass that on, man, I feel like it's only right. I feel like I've done my part. But not just that, like people don't really understand how much work goes into playing the game of football.
No doubt.
And how much everything needs to be perfect. 11 guys doing exactly what they need to do, exactly when they need to do it.
Yeah.
And even if one person's off, everything can go downhill. So like it's real like intricate, and I like that part of the game. Like it's more than just hitting people and scoring touchdowns and stuff. There's a way to do everything.
Yeah, no, it's a good answer. Yeah, I agree. What about you?
I want to make a program where the youth can come in, be kids, interact with each other, like do real life stuff. Because nowadays you see a whole bunch of kids got different devices and stuff. I barely see kids outside.
Never outside. Yeah.
You know, so I want to make a program where they can come learn about themselves, find their interests and stuff, help them out with life as much as they can. Because back in my city, you know, it be youngins that be going out to the streets doing crazy stuff. Like stuff that I wouldn't even think to do it when I was their age. You know, killing each other, gang stuff. So I just want to show them it's another way and all that. And then I want to do something with the media too.
Oh, cool.
So tie that in somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Don't take my job.
Nah, I ain't gonna do no chat.
They're gonna be calling me in 10 years. Be like, you're out. We brought in JuTahn.
Collab if anything.
Collab. We can collab, man.
Facts.
You'd be a good podcast host. You should do a little Kentucky pod. Yeah, we'll talk.
Cool. Yeah.
I say be a coach or work on cars.
I also heard you're into fashion too, right? Mm-hmm. Where's the drip though?
I ain't wearing
I'm just playing. Those shoes are fire.
I have so many shoes. That's why Woody always says that, because I had
He's the one that told me that. He told me
no,
you're into
because
fashion.
when I first moved in, like they were standing outside the dorms like to move in, and I was the only one that had a U-Haul behind me because it was my car, my dad, and then a U-Haul. So then they opened my doors and they seen 40 pair of shoes, and I'm like, they're like, where are you gonna put all these shoes? And then ever since then, I brought 40 pair of shoes up here, and ever since that day, they were like, what do you need all those shoes for?
You got more at home?
Yeah, I got so many shoes. Like I just buy them. They just sit
Can
there.
you rate my shoes right here? What do you think of these?
Them hard. I put them like I like the little soda shoes though, like that you can wear with anything. So I put them higher than I put these because these just sit in my closet. I can't really wear them with anything.
Yeah, they're fresh. I like those. I couldn't rock those. But
That's what I'm saying, because I can't never find nothing to wear with these. But I seen these and I was like, this colorway never came out, so I was like, I gotta grab them. That's how I think.
At least you can find shoes. You know how hard
Oh,
to
yeah.
find size 17s and stuff. I might as well not. I don't even.
size what?
Size 17. That's what my parents didn't give me. My parents didn't give me a lot of shoes growing up because like
They gotta get custom made probably.
damn near like
Gotta go to Ross.
My shoe size like matched my age till I was
man.
14 or so, something like that. And I've been a 17 since freshman year of high school.
God.
So it was like it was over with, just like going and just like spying shoes, stuff like that. I still remember I was a kid. I walked in the Foot Locker and I asked the man, and I was looking at some shoes that I liked, and I asked him if they had those in 16s. And that man didn't look in the bag. He ain't checked the stock. He ain't checked the phone. None of that. He just immediately. No, we don't, dog. From that moment on, I knew that.
I had a team in middle school that had
I had to get it online, bro. Time to get my shoes from Kentucky past 4 years, but ain't no point in trying to.
I had a teammate in middle school that wore a size 22.
22?
I swear.
How tall was he?
Bro, we was in middle school. He was like 6'5". Bro. He was real big though. His name was Jacob McCarley. If you see this, I'm talking about you. I don't think he played football anymore. His name was Jacob McCarley.
You're gonna see this on TikTok somewhere. You're gonna be scrolling.
Yeah, I'm talking about you, Jacob. He wore a size 22. And I remember the first time, like, because we would always see his shoes, but we really didn't know like that. I mean, we really didn't think like they were that big. So one day I'm just seeing them in the locker room. So I'm like, let me try some. I wore a size 12, like, when we was doing this. I had my cleat on, and his cleat was sitting right there. I put my shoe inside his shoe and was able to put my other shoe in there. And I'm in his one shoe like this. Both of my feet in his one shoe. I'm like, bro, it's no way.
That's crazy.
That's a surfboard, dude.
Bro, his shoes are so big. I'm like, bro, how do you even move?
It's a surfboard on both ankles.
And then I asked him, I said, where do you get your shoes from? He was like, sometimes I'm lucky. I can get them out of Ross. I'm like, Ross? Like, then I went in, because that was before I even went in Ross. So then I went in Ross that day. I mean, ended up going in Ross, and then I seen the section. It was like 17 and up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, bro, why is there a shoe section for 17 and up?
Nah, that's crazy.
Like, have you ever gotten the shoes out of Ross? Have you seen some in there?
I've seen them,
bro. Ross carries some big shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, why do you have shoes this big? Yeah, just go in Ross and look at the shoe section. It's gonna say 13, 14, 15. Then it's gonna say 16, then 17 and up. I swear. It's gonna say 17. It's gonna be a plus 5, bro. I'm like, bro, why?
Yeah.
Why do you have a shoe section that big?
I'll be here. I was living on East Bay to get my shoes.
Oh yeah, East Bay got some big shoes too.
The East Bay magazine every year was.
The problem is
they always say
real picky with the colors, bro. I couldn't get all the shoes I
get whatever they give you.
The only colors left was like orange and purple.
Yeah, it'd be the exotic colors. It'd be the exotic colors.
I'll be real generic with my shoes, just like some white, some black, something like that. I've never been too big into shoes and stuff like that. Obviously, you can't even do it. It's hard to do that stuff. But it's like
you should be a real big boot man. Like a real boot man. You should get a lot of boots.
Man, you know how big boots would look on my feet, bro?
I know a lot of people that wear boots.
I look like I could get into my clown shoes, bro.
I think you three need your own podcast.
Think so?
Yeah, you agree?
That'd be fine.
Take over KSR.
Are we gonna beat Mississippi State this weekend or what?
Hell yeah, man.
We're gonna do our thing and let the results speak for themselves.
There you go. That's a polished answer. I love it. Well, good guys. I appreciate the time. Anything else you guys want to add? Any other stories you want to tell? I mean, while we're just telling stories, anything else?
I think I'm storied out for it.
I'm good.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, this was fun.
Bro, the steak's been outside.
You don't want a steak?
I'm full.
Well, he missed his shots in the background. You talking about being the best athlete, you ain't even good at ping pong.
I'm good at cool though.
I gotta win a point for this, Chris. We ain't stopping until I win a point. The clip that goes on there is not gonna be me losing it.
Yes, sir.
He said I heard this hard.
Oh!
Alright, last play. You see with both hands.
And you made it, son.
This is a little bit better than last Airbnb, would you say?
Yes.
Last one?
Yes. This is snazzy.
This is like 8 out of 10, you think?
Yeah. About. I haven't seen the inside yet.
Is this as good as it gets in Lexington? Like, is this the best place you're going to get?
The hot tub alone gives it an extra few points, but this is a pretty solid spot.
Yeah. I'm just mad we're not in the hot tub doing this pod. How you feeling? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling good, kind of approaching the midway part of the season, and it's a grind. There's always going to be bumps and bruises and a lot of just mental toughness to grit you through it, but feel good about where the team's at, and I think we can improve a lot and become even better.
Yeah. Favorite play of the season so far?
Favorite play of the season? I would probably say the touchdown to Dane in the Florida game.
What was the route?
It was just a high, we call it a rider. So it's just kind of aiming at the near upright. And it was a 7-man kind of full protect play with the high crossing route, and the high safety cut the high crossing route, and we threw the rider over the top. And that was kind of the one opportunity we had to push it down the field that game, and we capitalized on it, and that ended up being a really big play in the game.
Showed the arm talent off a little bit.
Yeah, it was cool. Threw it like 65 yards in the air, so pretty cool.
I think that was the play that Kenneth was just talking about. So I just had some of your teammates here right before this to talk about a bunch of stuff, and we were talking about you for a while, and it was funny. First of all three of them said amazing things about you, talked about your preparation and your leadership. And we were talking as a group about kind of, because of some of, we talked before, the different like quirky things you do, or like the social media that people don't realize, like sometimes how dialed in you are, or like your preparation that goes in every week. And they were like, Will's nothing like some of what people portray him to be on social media, and that like, you're the most locked in person in that entire building every day.
Yeah.
And what's that kind of like, do you feel that way, that you're different than people maybe perceive you publicly sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to the guys before, and I've told them this, like, when you step into that facility, you got to treat that like your job. Like, you got to kind of flip that switch when you walk through the door, and kind of have that mindset that everything that you do from here until when you leave this building has to be focused on football and has to be contributing towards the team and getting the win that week. Yeah. And it's everything from treatment, maintaining your body, to film study, to lifting throughout the season, to individual extra work, either before or after practice. And I think it's important for me to be able to kind of show my personality and to show who I am outside of the football facility or off the field with my guys and with my followers and everything. But then when it comes down to business, I'm laser focused.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I love it. I love to see it. And I think it's interesting because even since we last talked, and we talked about the NFL hype before, and I remember your answer was sometimes the NFL reporters are trying to get clicks, so they just put people as first overall. But there's even more now. I mean, now you had to see Mel Kiper's stuff the other day about you being #1 quarterback, first overall. It's at a different level than it was even 3 months ago when we talked. What's that feel like? Do you feel that pressure at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you before just like how I try my best to not look at any of that stuff. I try to avoid even seeing any of that stuff. And then when you do see those things, it's important to not let it affect your mindset. We talk about not getting too high when things are going well, not getting too low when things are not going well. You can't let that affect your thought process and your preparation. And right now it's harder just because as the season goes on, more of that stuff's going to be thrown at you. And while I'll definitely see some of it, it's just my job to make sure it doesn't affect how I approach things.
Yeah, no doubt. I love what you said about the high and low stuff. Mm-hmm. Again, we talked about it some, but I feel like that's like what young guys struggle with a lot.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest things I had to overcome as a young player. Yeah. Up until my sophomore, junior year at Penn State, I was always an emotional kid. I was always the kid in the Little League games throwing their bat after striking out, And but when I realized that you're not going to get anything out of letting your emotions get the best of you, and just kind of having that one play mentality, it's the only way you can play the game and really play life in general.
Yeah. What's the one part of your game you think you need to improve upon for the second half of the season?
I think it's taking checkdowns more and feeling pressure more and getting the ball out and bypassing reads sometimes when the situation proves necessary. Sometimes you'd love a play to develop is how you draw it up or how it will be against 7-on-7 when you're not worried about pressure or anything. But sometimes you're not going to be able to get to that third, fourth read. Yeah. And it's time to kind of change your mindset to get right to the check down rather than get to the next read. Yeah. And that's a way for us to get completions to some of our good playmakers. And I've done a better job of that this year than last year, I think, but there's still room to improve in that area.
Yeah. Who on the team has been kind of like the most surprising player to you that stepped up?
Most surprising player, I would probably say, I'm going to give some love to the O-line. I think Jagger Burton, who stepped in and is a first-year starter at guard, left guard, has played really, really well for most of the season. And the improvement just from the first and second game to now is just so apparent when you look on tape. And he's playing with a level of confidence and physicality that is really impressive sometimes. And he's so hard on himself, and he knows he can get better. But I'm really proud of the way that he's played so far.
We had, you guys have a lot of guys with really cool stories on your team. We had, I did a Discord chat with JJ Weaver the other day, and what an awesome kid, man. We talked about you on that too.
Yeah.
Awesome story, like overcome a lot.
Yeah.
What's it like playing with him?
He's that's the best part about a football team is just you're going to get guys from all different types of backgrounds, and you can not only learn from those football players, but you can learn from them as human beings because of the experiences that they've had, whether it's how they grew up or what happened throughout their life and in their whole life. And it just gives you kind of perspective and a way of connectedness throughout a variety of different people that allows you to be a better leader and allows you just to be a better person. Yeah. And JJ is one of those guys that have definitely helped me with that. But kind of on top of that, the level of just player he is he's unreal. Yeah. And whenever we have him out on the field, you feel him. He's one of those few players where you can actually feel a difference when he's on the field or when he's not. And he's just got that tenacity and just nastiness that you love out of that position. And he wants to make plays every single time he's out there.
Even Kenneth, who was here, has an amazing story too about
unreal
open heart surgery.
Yeah,
there's so many guys in your team, man. It's crazy that just have those kinds of stories.
No, I mean, we had Josh last year who had cancer on his foot. Tayshawn Manning had cancer our right guard now. Kenneth, the open heart surgery. It's pretty crazy. It
really is.
A lot of interesting stories like that, but you would never know. And at the end of the day, these guys are football players, and they're trying to make a difference for them and their families, and they're not letting that be an excuse. Yeah. And they're playing through and above what's happening to them, which is really cool.
Yeah, you had your it seemed like all your family and friends here this past weekend to come visit Lexington. How was it? I know you didn't play, but how was that experience?
That was tough.
Because it seemed like there were so many of them here. I was seeing it all over social media.
All off season, my family and friends were talking about trying to find a game that would make sense for them to come. Yeah. And they all settled on the South Carolina game. And of course, I get hurt and was not sure about playing throughout the week and ended up not being able to play for game day. And so they all traveled and made the most of it. And even though I wasn't able to spend a lot of time with them, the few kind of minutes I had here and there with them was really, really special, and just makes me realize how grateful I am just to be surrounded by that group of people.
You guys didn't have Brad go do a motivational speech for the team before the game?
No. I don't think I don't know if they're ready for that. You know, I don't know if they're ready for the academic weapon, Mr. Kick the Sheets, to give them. They might get a little too crazy after that.
All right.
No, he was fun. He stayed at my place. He calls himself Mr. Kick the Sheets. He was up at like 11 a.m. both days. He's getting a little banged up. I don't know about it, but his people would think about that.
Dude, it's funny because even just knowing him, like, it's funny because now I hear people say academic weapons.
Well, the thing is, like, that phrase, like academic weapon, that's been a thing. Yeah. Like, that's like, people have used that, like, you know, like, oh, I'm studying for this test. Like, I'm an absolute academic weapon. Brad used it. It has become a main source of traction for him. And he also trademarked it.
Did he really?
He trademarked the phrase academic weapon, which I didn't think was possible. But I mean, he's taken advantage of it, and all credit to him. He's had an absolutely incredible come up recently. Yeah. And I've been at his side and been a supporter of him, and just excited to see where it takes him.
I met him when we did the podcast with Sean Clifford at State College, and he was there.
Yeah.
Because he was working with Limitless. Yeah. So I got to talk to him after, and he was just, he could talk for a half hour to himself. Yeah.
He's the best.
I loved it. Update me on the Will Levis, the businessman. What's new in the NIL world? What's new in the business world?
Yeah, not much, honestly. Not much. I kind of had the mindset of once the season started that I wasn't going to get too much into that side of things. But mostly for me, I think some business things that I'm going to have to do is during the bye week in a couple weeks, I'm going to have to make some decisions on the representation side for the next level, financial advisors, marketing reps, all that. That's kind of the one time during the season that I foresaw beforehand that I knew I'd have some time to focus on those kind of things, because I haven't really thought about that at all throughout the season, which has been really nice. But that's the next step for me, because it's coming up, and got to kind of limit my circle of people.
How's the agent process been? It's like a recruiting process all over again, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy just having. It's taught me one thing, which is to say no, and it's tough when there's people reaching out to you left and right, wanting to even get on the phone with you for 10 minutes, and sometimes that's just not like in the cards for me for that day. And it's tough for me to be like, you know what, like, hey, like, let's find another time, or even I've already have enough people I'm talking to. I appreciate you reaching out, but I'm just not interested. And while that hurts sometimes, it's in my best interest, and I'm really comfortable with the people that I've talked to. There's so many great representatives that have done awesome things for a bunch of players, and I think you can't really go wrong with a lot of those people.
Do you narrow it down? You don't have to tell us who that you narrow it down to, unless you want to. Do you narrow it down to like a final 3 or like a final 5, like when you're going through this process like you do with schools?
Yeah, so I had intentions of lowering it down to a certain number before the season started, and I did lower it down a little bit, but I didn't cut it as much as I wanted to, just because of the how I knew that each of these people would be such a great choice for me. Yeah. But I definitely do need to do that, just to limit the kind of amount of people in my ear.
How much, I'm just super curious, I feel like fans would be too, this whole process. How much of it do you look into what other quarterbacks agents represent, or have they represented a QB1 before? Like, do you look into that, like that kind of experience?
Yeah, so contract well, the first thing is that no one's really going to be able to make an impact on your rookie contract, you know? And it's pretty slotted, and you're going to get what you get, essentially. There's little things here and there that people will show that they've done that have benefited people, and that's always great to see. But I do think that quarterback's a little bit of a different animal, in that you do want to see someone who has some sort of or reputation of handling quarterbacks' second, third contracts well. And what's great is that a lot of these companies, even if the certain guy or the certain woman that I'm talking to doesn't, then there's always a support system around them that does have experience with that, which can help as well. But kind of with that, I have to look at too, like in my recruiting class, like who's being represented by who could be going with what different guys. One of the main decisions I had to make that I haven't made yet is, do I want to be represented by an agency that is representing more than a different quarterback in the draft class? And I don't know. I haven't made that decision if that's important to me. There's the people that is the case for. They're obviously going to tell you why it doesn't matter, or why that it's good to have more than one. And then the people that are planning on only representing you or one quarterback will tell you why that's important, that you're the only one that they're focused on. So it's interesting to kind of see the scope of everything, and seeing where these other guys that I'm competing with are sorted to go with.
Same thing as like when you're getting recruited to play quarterback.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Who else is there? Who they take?
That's a little different. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
It's tough going into a class with two quarterbacks, but
let's do a little top 3 list, or top 5, of a few subjects.
Yep.
I'm curious to hear these for you. Top 3 stadiums you played in.
Top 3 stadiums I've played in. Gotta go Kroger Field, 1. Mm-hmm. Love the home fans. They brought it every single year.
That's like a cheap answer.
Yeah. Well, then I'll do 3 away stadiums.
Away stadium. That's a bad question. Okay. A faulty question.
3 away stadiums. I'm gonna go Florida. Florida's one of them. Do they have to be in order?
No.
Okay. Florida's one of them for sure. That was awesome going down there and being a part of that environment. Does Penn State count? Yeah. I mean, I would say that Beaver is up there. Can't imagine what it's like being an opponent going in there for a whiteout game. Pretty insane. And then I'm gonna go a little out there with the last one. I'm gonna say Iowa. I think Iowa has
a tough place to play.
It's a really tough place to play. I didn't necessarily play in the game, but when we did play there my redshirt freshman year, I just remember the environment of the fans just being right on top of you, and just how loud and obnoxious those fans are. It's really cool.
How intense was the Florida environment?
It was pretty intense. It was. I think we handled it really, really well.
Yeah.
I think when I was out there, I didn't really notice it, but on the sideline, when you're able to kind of hear the roars and everything, that's when you realize how cool it is. But just walking into it and kind of looking up and seeing just all of the history behind their program, and their colors are pretty cool too. You know, the orange and the blue.
Yeah.
And I mean, it reminded me of growing up and watching like Tim Tebow play and just seeing the swamp, you know. And it's a nice grass field, and it's a cool stadium, and their fans were rocking.
Hearing your answer made me think of another question I would ask you earlier. What's been your favorite game of the season so far?
Favorite game of the season? I'd probably say the Florida game too. Yeah, I mean, that was just the best win we've had so far. I think we've played our cleanest game. That was the cleanest game we've played. We've done better on offense in other games, but I think just from an operational standpoint and the circumstances of playing in that environment against a great team like that, that was probably the most exciting game.
Such a big stage too.
Yes.
Everyone's watching.
7 p.m. ESPN. Gotta love it. Gotta love those types of feels.
Top 3 NFL quarterbacks.
Of all time or current? Current. All right. I'm going to go.
Someone's going to not like something you say here, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to go Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Because I think that as long as Tom Brady's alive and playing football, it's a crime to not put him in that list. But until he shows that he can't make the throws that he's still making, then I think that he's deserved to be there. So Josh is incredible. Patrick's been in his groove this year. So much fun to watch. And you got to put Tom in there too.
No Aaron Rodgers? Yeah.
No, I think Aaron is close too. Aaron's close. But there's too many good guys to choose from. It's why they're the best, you know. There's only 32 of them.
No doubt. Yeah. I think my favorite, clip from our last interview was that story you told about meeting Tom Brady at the golf at the match, and how you were so nervous to meet him.
That was insane. I was shaking in my boots.
I just can't wait till you're playing in the match. That's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
The best time.
I got to meet the guy who runs that, and I was like, hey, as long as I can knock 20 strokes off the next few years, then get ready for me.
Yeah, dude. It'd be struggling, shaking the ball. You know, it's crazy how good Josh and those guys are.
Yeah, they were saying they're more nervous for that than they are for football games.
I bet.
It's insane. Well, because they got millions of people or however many people watching them play something that they're not even known to do. So when you're playing football, you've done it your whole life. 100%. But when you're playing as stressful as a game as golf with all those people watching, that's such a crazy course.
They come from the lack of preparation sometimes, So when you're not prepared to golf, you're the most nervous. Yeah. Could you Tom Brady playing when he's 40 something? I don't know how old he is now. 40 something. Can you even envision playing football that long? Is that even something you could see yourself doing?
Yeah, I could. I think it starts with taking care of your body, which is obviously something that he's done to the extreme. I want to play this game as long as I can at the highest level possible. So I'd love to play even longer than he does.
Yeah. Since as you've matured through college, how much more have you focused on taking care of your body? Has that been a big thing that you've dialed in a lot?
Yeah, I think from a nutritional standpoint, especially, that's the number one thing. And that's the biggest thing I'm actually looking forward to focusing on during the draft prep process and when I have the resources and the money really to focus, the time to focus on those things, I've gone back and forth with some different diets, but I've never really adhered to a strict kind of this is what I'm eating. I'm tracking the amount of things that I'm eating, blah, blah, blah. And the stories that you hear of guys that are going from eating out 5 times a week and still being able to be just dominant football players to then taking a 3-month draft prep process and cutting their body weight in half and knocking 0.2 of a second off their 40. I'm a nut when it comes to just physical development and getting my body in prime position as an athlete, which I think has helped me and added different parts of my game that not a lot of quarterbacks have, and just always trying to find ways to improve on that front.
Top 3 non-football athletes.
Current,
yeah.
Top 3 non-football athletes. All right.
I love getting you thinking a little bit.
Yeah. Well, some of the guys that came to mind. Okay. All right. Shohei Ohtani. I think he's the baseball answer that comes to mind. Just with what he's been able to do as a pitcher and a hitter, I think is insane. I'm a baseball nut too. Yeah. Love baseball. It's my first love as a sport. The work that he puts, I still think I could play. Like my goal is to maybe do a little video batting practice or maybe throwing some balls across the diamond, getting drafted in like the 40th round of the MLB draft. That would be sick. Number 2, I would say, I gotta go LeBron. I gotta say LeBron. Yeah. I'm a LeBron guy. He's still the king. And to like Brady, to do what he's doing at this age is so consistently is insane. And then the last one, undisputed greatest athlete alive right now, Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut, just playing at a level
no one can
uncontended, just indisputed greatest of all time. He's incredible. Every fourth, really it's like clockwork. It's insane.
The consistency is incredible.
It's insane. I mean, I'm a big eater. Like I might have to send you the video of this. I think I have a video of me. I can eat a Big Mac in under 15 seconds. So I'm like a.
Can we call him a Big Mac right now?
I haven't done it in a while, but I think it was like my senior year in high school or something. I remember people were always realized how fast of an eater I was, and my girlfriend still gives me crap about it. But no, I could put it down, but not 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes, whatever. That's just insane.
That's good. Dude, how do we get you a baseball tryout?
I don't know. I think it's easier.
You'd be like Kyler.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but sheesh. I hit some batting practice with the baseball team last year. I was cutting, so I can still hit it over.
What's your position in baseball?
I was a shortstop, third base. I actually moved to third like when I got a little taller, but I was always just more of a hitter. Yeah. Like I always hit the snot out of the ball.
Left-handed hitter?
Right-handed hitter. Yeah.
Power hitter?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not a big like contact guy. You know?
No, I mean I was a big oppo guy. I don't know why. I could never figure out like pulling the ball. I was always, all my homers were like right center, and I was hitting doubles into like the right center gap. Like that was my like go-to.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I've played, so it's interesting to think about what I am like now.
Yeah, I'd love to see you play some baseball, man.
All right, top 3 quarterbacks in college other than me. I'd probably go with Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and last one, he's my guy. I'm gonna give him a shout out. I think he spins it extremely well. He's been playing awesome. Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
At Wake Forest.
Another great story.
Yeah, incredible story. Yeah.
It's
Mr. Deaky Blinder himself.
Yeah. I did that. I posted a video the other day on Stroud versus Bryce Young in my comments. And I think it's because I'm like in the algorithm for all the Kentucky fans now because all the content I posted.
Yeah, it's funny.
My comments were all just Will Levis.
That's so funny.
I was loving it.
Yeah. People get heated over that stuff. It's funny.
They really do. Yeah. Kentucky fans are passionate.
Very passionate.
They've, like I said, ever since I started posting stuff with you, all the Kentucky fans are always in my tweeting at me.
Nice.
So I'm loving it. All right, next one. This one's going to be interesting. Because I did one on this and it got a lot of flack. Top Penn State football players of all time.
Top Penn State football players of all time. John Cappelletti, Saquon Barkley, and LeVar Arrington.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to put LeVar in there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
I think that might be the correct answer.
I think it's probably right. I put Trace McSorley. People were not happy with me.
I think it's tough to not put the only Heisman winner in the top in the 3.
Yeah. I think that's why I left Adam mine too, and they were not thrilled.
You left yourself? You said?
I was not in it. I should be, but
yeah. And then Saquon, just generational talent, who just him and Trace were just huge proponents of that championship that was huge for the whole program. Yeah. And LeVar just being LeVar.
Have you seen the new running back to Penn State, Nick Saban?
Yeah, he's incredible.
Looks like Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, I hate seeing those comparisons, and I know that he does too. I know that he probably wants to just be his own guy, but you can't help but anytime there's a player's electric like that, playing the same position, whose build is somewhat similar, to not make that connection. And I know that he's looking to live up to that hype and exceed it.
Yeah. You still talk to Sean Clifford?
Yeah, I've talked to Sean a decent amount. Yeah, we talk every other week or so.
He's playing pretty well.
He
He's
is.
playing really well.
He is. Yeah, I knew he was going to have a good year. He's comfortable in that offense that they're running, and he's got great experience and sees the field really well. He's been taking care of the football well and leading them to wins, most importantly.
Yeah. Top 3 clothing brands. I know you're going to say Noble.
Yeah, I'm going to say Noble. Right here. Get your Noble.
Can you get me one of those sweatshirts?
Yeah. I mean, I got like 20 in my closet. So this Noble thing, let me do.
You got to send me your discount code and like 20% off.
I'm trying to think of non-compete clothing too.
Oh, am I going to get you in trouble with that?
Yeah, no. I would say the other two, I don't know. It's tough. I'm trying to think of like a design, but I don't really wear like designer clothes, so I'm like,
What we got going on over there?
all right, I'm gonna say Noble, Levi's. Love their jeans. Hoping to get a deal with them at some point.
Levi's guy.
Yeah. Hit me up, Levi's. And maybe like I don't know. I'm not a big clothing guy.
This is the one that you got to think about the most.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say
Lululemon,
Lulu, but then they're kind of similar. So
Oh, true. What's the starting price point for the Levi's endorsement deal?
oof, Levi's, you're gonna have to come up. Actually, no, it won't take much. It won't take much for me to take that.
Just
honestly.
a free product.
No, yeah, I think it's just a no-brainer. But yeah, I'm not a big jeans guy either. But like when I do wear them, I'll wear some Levi's. But maybe they can help me find some jeans that fit the thighs, you know.
Squats.
Yeah.
All right, pregame, biggest game of your life, SEC championship game this year. You're walking through the tunnel. You got 2 songs that you can put on your playlist. What are they? You know, everyone's taking a picture, so you got to be like feeling yourself pretty good.
I'm gonna say Forever. You know the Drake.
Can you sing it a little bit?
It may not mean nothing to y'all. Understand nothing was done for me. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, that's
good. When the horns come in the beginning, the beat comes in. Come on, that's crazy.
You're feeling good with that song.
And then I'm a Lick Back remix, ESTG, Louisville rapper. I started listening to him when I got here, and that's hard. That makes me want to do some illegal things. It's a good song.
When do you play the song? I mean, I don't want to hear it.
No, we play it every day at practice too, so it's ingrained into my memory at this point. So I'm weird with music, man. I'm weird. I will listen to country one day, alternative the next, like 90s rock. I got put onto Babytron the other day, who's this like Detroit rapper, who just has like some of the most insane, just like out there bars of all time that just makes you laugh, but you can't stop listening to it at the same time. So yeah, I just like enjoy.
You were bumping when you rolled up.
Yeah. I don't know. I forget what I was listening to.
There's something.
This sounds.
That's got to be Will coming out. What are you whipping these days? What's it called?
I got a Bronco. I got a big Bend. I got a little NIL endorsement deal with a local dealership that was able to hook me up that for the season. So yeah, I got an upgraded like speaker system and everything. So got the subwoofer bumping in the back. Yeah.
So is that those NIL deals? Is that yours? You got to give it back.
It's a lease. Yeah. So it's I have an option to buy it after the lease. I think I had a pretty good price, but it just runs through this year. So
I told you with Chris, we did a little car tour. Check that thing out.
Yeah, I don't got nothing like Chris. But, that man's different.
Yeah, I think it's loud too. Top 3 places to eat in Lexington.
I got to go with Malone's.
You take all the linemen there, right?
I take all the linemen there every Sunday for a good, nice steak dinner. Awesome steakhouse.
What's that tab cost you?
We have a limit of $100 per person.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
it's still a lot.
Shout out to Malone's. Shout out to my guy Bruce Drake for hooking that up, owner of the BHG franchise, Drake's Restaurants. 2, I'd say Carson's. Carson's is a little southern kind of family style place. Downtown. It was the first restaurant I ever went to when I came here. And 3rd, this is out there, but whenever you're in Lexington for the first time, you got to go to Keeneland. You got to visit Keeneland. That's like the one thing you got to do. But I don't know what the hours are, but in the mornings they have like a breakfast bar kind of type of place on campus there at Keeneland, and they got some insane bacon, egg, and cheeses and stuff like that. So it's funny because it's like it looks like a school cafeteria, and you're eating there with like the jockeys and the trainers and stuff. But that was another one that comes to mind.
Yeah. We do need to go to Keeneland, guys. That's what was last night was Keeneland, right? I think
they run on Thursday through Sundays in October.
Really?
So yeah.
Cool. You ever go there?
I went there on our bye week last year, and I'll probably go again this year on our bye week. So
sweet. LeBron or Jordan?
I go back and forth with this one. Right now, I'm feeling Jordan. I can do the whole LeBron's a better player. Jordan's has a better legacy, but even I don't know if that's true anymore.
Yeah.
The Last Dance is still kind of fresh in my memory, so ever since then it's been kind of swayed. Yeah.
It's definitely changed things. We talked a little bit about the agent process, but did you figure out where you're going to train yet after the season?
I'm not sure. That's another thing I'm going to have to think about.
A lot of decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll be out west. I'll be in Orange County. I don't know exactly with who or doing exactly what, but yeah. The two quarterback trainers who I'm working with both work out out of there. So yeah.
Is Jordan one of them?
Mm-hmm. Jordan Palmer and John Beck and 3D QB is the other
that's
group.
Right. I think you told me about them before. Yeah.
So just kind of love both of them. Can't go wrong with either of them. But I think that's another decision I'm gonna have to make kind of during the bye week.
Yeah. We're going to get you on Jordan Palmer's podcast soon, the room.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. That's awesome.
Surprised you haven't been on there. Yeah. Well, good, man. Yeah, I'd love to watch a couple of plays with you and see what.
Let's do it. Yeah, so this was a pistol inside zone play action concept. Ran off of an inside zone we'd run already. So kind of part of the presentation is obviously to get the defense thinking that you're doing one thing and doing the complement of it. So we have an insert player on the bottom, the wide receiver here, who in the run would insert and take one of those backers or down safeties depending on the look. And on this play, it'll be play action to the back, where that insert guy, instead of blocking, he's gonna run across the field and run a high cross.
So he normally would block number 6 right
there? Yes. And we like this concept with the rider, which is the near upright kind of post that we run from the top, and the high cross in the bottom. High cross being premier versus 1 high, and the rider being premier versus 2 high. And in this, I think it's 3 hook field, which ends up playing like 1 high, but the high safety ends up cutting the high cross, leaving Dane on the rider 1-on-1, which was really cool because those are one of those things that you talk about in meetings, about kind of the situations that could happen that we don't necessarily expect to happen, but that if they do, you got to be ready for it. And that's just Dane kind of running his route at his fullest, regardless of the coverage, knowing that maybe pre-snap, I might not be thinking throwing the ball to him, but you never know how it's going to play out post-snap. And he just goes up and makes an excellent play. And when you can give good players like that one-on-one shots down the field, good things are going to happen.
You do that thing, what was that, 50-yard throw? 60?
Yeah, I threw it from the minus 37, 38. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool.
When you say, you said 3 hook field, so what's that terminology? Are you saying that the field safety is playing
the field safety is coming down and playing the hook to the field, yeah. And then the boundary safety, who's rolling to the middle of the field, ends up actually cutting that low cross, which leaves the middle of the field open, and Dane one-on-one with the corner.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Let's pull up that other one you said. All right, let's talk about this touchdown throw against Northern Illinois against all-out blitz.
Yeah. So this was 3rd down, and we know we were going to be getting some cover 0 throughout the game, and they were heating us up a lot, and this was something we anticipated on 3rd down. So 3rd and 8, zeroed out. We got our tight end staying in protection. So we got 6-on-6 right now. We're good with a possible adder here in the boundary, and who I peeked at first to see if he was coming, and he wasn't. He was just adding on, so I knew I had a little bit of extra time. With the protection set up how it was, I knew that I could give Tavion on the stick nod here a good little eye fake and a quick little pump to have him beat his man across his face, and then just with the pressure, a little bit coming at my feet, move to my backside, and just giving myself enough time with that adding blitzer to give Tavion a nice easy ball with him beating him on the double move and running up for the touchdown. So it's always cool when you can find answers and big plays can happen against cover zero. Or if you don't do it right, negative plays can happen.
Sacks,
so it's cool when that plays out the way it does.
Did you anticipate getting zero in this situation, or was that like a zero check that you checked when you saw zero?
It was anticipated, and how it was played out is that based on the different coverages we thought we could get in that situation, there were different aspects of that play that we thought were going to be answers to. And if it was zero or any kind of soft too high, that stick nod was an alert. So that's the same play we'd ran against Florida for a third down. We're actually threw the slant underneath for a first down. And this time I kind of just was all in on Tay. I knew that he was one-on-one. I was going to let him make a move and cross his face and just bought enough time to get him the ball.
Cool. Sweet.
Some sort of cover two, four-man rush. So I knew I had time. I had a single cut backside route, 15-yard stop route versus access that I knew I was going to take if they gave me access. But with the buzzer to the flat, I said no to it. We had a crossing route down the middle that was gloved and a dagger backside. And that's the third part of the progression, really. One of those ones where you hope you have enough time to get to, but sometimes you don't. This is a situation versus a four-man rush and a clean pocket where you can have time to get there if you have the lane. And luckily here, just kind of going through my progression, no, stepping up, moving a little bit to the right, and ripping it to Barry on the dagger, who is able to just outrun the defense. And it's cool when you can have a guy who has that type of speed where if you give him a good enough ball and he gets running, he can outrun those angles. So it's awesome when it comes together like that.
So for the route into the boundary, you're thinking preset maybe, and then as soon as you see him buzz out, you're moving on to this is your second read?
Yes.
And he's running a seam?
It's a through. We call it a through. So it's like a cross route. We want to get to like 18 to 22 opposite hash. But it depends on the coverage.
Cool. Nice ball.
Yeah.
Right on. Perfect. All right, man. Sweet. It's great. I appreciate it, man. Of course. Another good episode.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.